Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Dhiraye Ashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishiki.
We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam and Proverbs chapter 3. Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Text 5. Etan nanavataranam Nidanam bijam abhyayam Yasyam shamshena srijyante Devatrilyam naradaya Etan nanavataranam Nidanam bijam abhyayam Yasyam shamshena srijyante Devatrilyam naradaya Etan nanavataranam Nidanam bijam abhyayam Yasyam shamshena srijyante Devatrilyam naradaya Etan nanavataranam Nidanam bijam abhyayam
Yasyam shamshena srijyante Devatrilyam naradaya
Etan nanavataranam Nidanam bijam abhyayam Yasyam shamshena srijyante Devatrilyam naradaya Etan nanavataranam Nidanam bijam abhyayam Yasyam shamshena srijyante Devatrilyam naradaya Etan nanavataranam Nidanam bijam abhyayam Yasyam shamshena srijyante Devatrilyam naradaya.
This is form of Nana, multifarious, Avataranam, of the incarnations, Nidanam, source, Bijam, seed, Avyayam,
Avyayam,
indestructible,
indestructible,
Yasya,
Yasya,
whose,
Amsha,
plenary portion,
plenary portions,
Amshena,
Amshena,
part of the plenary portion,
part of the plenary portion,
Shrutyante,
Shrijyante,
create,
Deva,
Deva, demigods,
demigod,
Surya,
Surya,
animals,
animals,
Nara Adayaha,
Naradayaha,
human beings and others.
human beings and others.
Translation and purport by Divine Grace of Jai Shri Prabhupada. This form, the second manifestation of the Purusha, is a source and indestructible seed of the multifarious incarnations within the universe. From the particles and portions of this form, different living entities like demigods, men, and others are created. The purport is quite long, so we will offer our national prayers and then we will study the purport. Om Jnana Timirana Dishmana Shalakaya Chakshurudidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sakitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swakadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Ramadanam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Samanayam Samanayam Satsivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sangana Lalita Shri Vishakhantikamsha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauramani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Bhashyakaresharare Manchakarupyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahapranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauravise Namaha Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gomesha Gopika Mata Radha Kanta Namaste Taptakanchana Gauraki Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, I'm happy to come here again to this nice center, Panathur Center. So this whole section is a little bit philosophical, and I think last time also I took one shloka in the same section. So Bhagavatam, if you see, the primary purpose of us coming together in the morning program and performing Guru Puja and then studying Srimad Bhagavatam, so is somehow or other not to be in Krishna consciousness. So like our whole goal is that how can we be Krishna conscious? So some of the aspects that we have is directly Krishna conscious, the chanting of the names of the Lord and things like that. So, but there are many other things that we have to deal with. We have to deal with a lot of material things. So, the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam actually helps us to see how this material things can be seen in Krishna conscious perspective. So now this universe that we live in and so many other things that we are dealing with. So how all this can be seen in the perspective of Krishna consciousness. So now we see the first kind of knowledge that is there in the spiritual teachings is that to see something beyond matter. The spirit is there, the spiritual existence has to be seen. And after that, the second level of knowledge is this, what is presented here. So that is God is existing. So apart from the spirit, there is Supreme Spirit is there, God is existing, and He is controlling and managing the material universes. And that form of the Lord is called Paramatma. So here it is the Purushas, the different Purushas that are described here. So there are different levels of Paramatma. So now the whole of material creation, the Paramatma of the whole of material creation is Mahavishnu. and Paramatma of one universe, is the Garbhadaksha Vishnu, who is the second manifestation of Purusha, is mentioned here. And then Paramatma of all the living entities is the Kshiradaksha Vishnu. And so we are there, and we are there as a soul, and the body is there, and there is Paramatma is there. In the same way, in the universe, if you see, Brahma is the soul of the universe, and Garbhadaksha Vishnu is the Paramatma of the universe, and the universe is the body, of this entity. So, like in this way, we see that bigger and bigger creations are there, but everywhere at every level, the Lord exists, and He knows everything at every level, and then He controls everything at every level. So this is what is the position of the Supreme Lord. So now we see that this form, the second manifestation of the Purusha, is a source, an indestructible seed of multifarious incarnations within the universe. So he is Garbhadaksha Vishnu and Kshiradaksha Vishnu. These are the channels through which all the incarnations of the Lord they appear within the world. So it is true for most of the cases, but when it comes to Krishna and Balaram, so they are all like when they appear, so they don't appear through this channel. So they are Swayam Bhagavan. So they are not like portions of this one. Now this Purusha incarnation itself is portion of the Supreme Lord. So, but the further incarnations they come, so they come as a portion of these incarnations. So, but then when the Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, when he comes, he doesn't come as a portion. So he is the complete personality of God, Purna Purushottama Bhagavan. So then, from the particles and portions of this form, different living entities like demigods, men, and others are created. So now there are expansions of the Lord Himself. The Lord personally expands into many different forms. So they are called as Swa-Amsha. So they are called as Lord's own personal expansion. So they are having complete capacity as the Supreme Lord Himself. And there are others called as Vibhinna Amsha. So Vibhinna Amsha means like they are separated expansions of the Lord. So like the Vibhinna Amsha are the living entities are Vibhinna. So and then the earth, water, fire, air, ether. So Bhumi, Rapa, Anala, Vayu, Kamano, Buddhi, Revacha, Ahankara, Miti, Binna, Prakriti, Rashtara. No, there is also Binna, no Vibhinna. So like separated. So the material elements are separated from the Lord, and the living entities are also separated from the Lord. Right? So these are all like they are separated, entities from the Lord. So now we see that in the last class also I was giving this example. If these two kartas were to be like united like this, this is like the internal potency of the Lord. And if it is separated by a thread or something like that, so this is called the external potency of the Lord. It is separated but still connected. So like that. So in this way we see that everything that exists is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Everything has its connection to the Supreme Lord. But still there are some things are called as Vibhinna or separated. So these are separated by a distance, but they are like they are still connected. So in this way we should understand. And the Purusha, after creating innumerable universes in the Mahatattva, entered into each of them as second Purusha, that is Garbhadaksha Vishnu. When he saw that within the universe there was only darkness and space without a resting place, he filled half the universe with water from his own perspiration and laid himself down on the same water. This water is called Garbha Udakam. So the form of then from its navel, the stem of the lotus flower sprouted, and on the flower petals, the birth of Brahma or the master engineer of the universal plan took place. So now, in this description, we see that the Purusha means like the three Purushas, Mahavishnu, Garbhadaksha Vishnu, and Kshiradaksha Vishnu. And so they are the ones who create and manage and maintain this material universe. And first of all, the first Purusha, Mahavishnu, innumerable universes came out from him. And after that, like he entered into each of the universe, and he saw that it is like, if people have to be there, or even if he has to be there. So first and foremost is you need to have some land. After that, we can think of building a house and we can think of staying there. So, but Mahavishnu is entering inside and there is no land, there is no house, there is nothing. So then, how will he, like if there is some real estate is there, you can do real estate business. There is no real estate only. Then what will you do? So, but the Lord is, if we have to sustain somewhere, so we need to purchase some land and build some house. But if Lord wants to sustain, He creates land and He stays there. Right? So that is His capacity. So like we are dependent on external features. So but then the Lord is not dependent on anything. So whatever He wants, He creates. He just creates by Himself. So initially universes He created, and then inside universe He went, and then He created a place for Himself. So He filled. This is the choice that He took. He filled half of the universe with water, and that water also like water that is emanated from His body itself. So that's how Srila Prabhupada actually in this connection there is one nice book is there, the title of a book. Lord creates all these different things. Lord created water, Lord created planets. So in this connection there is a book of Srila Prabhupada. The nice title of a book is there. Life comes from life. So life comes from life. So like the scientists are talking about what is their this one conclusion? Life came from matter. At certain combination of matter, life symptoms actually started arising like that. So, but then Prabhupada says that in our experience we don't see this. Some chemicals come together and they come into consciousness. But on the contrary, we have an opposite experience. What is that opposite experience? Matter comes from life. And any example you remember of Prabhupada giving? So like one tree and it is producing so much citric acid, like lemon, the lemon tree, like one life, one living entity is there in this tree, and it is producing so much of citric acid, and we don't find matter coming together and producing life, but we see that we also perspire. When we perspire, like we get salt water, like in perspiration and things like that. So we produce salt also. So like so many things we produce, right? So in this connection, like one small joke I just remember of one time one person like he excreted, and then after that he caught his nose like this is like very bad smelling this one. Then the stool actually spoke to him. I was a nice piece. I came in association with you and I became like this. Now you are catching your nose, not able to tolerate. So it is all because of your association. Like that. So, anyways, so that's a joke apart. So, like the Lord, He creates anything and everything. Like He creates everything, and we are also small Ishwaras, like small controllers, small gods. So we create like little bit of perspiration, maybe like whether we can measure in a glass or not, we don't know. So, but Prabhupada says like when Lord perspires, He can create oceans. So, like that is how the Lord's everything, every aspect of the Lord is unlimited. So He created innumerable universes, and then within the universe, He comes in and then He produces like unimaginable quantity of water just by perspiration, right? And like Prabhupada says, like this may be like looking to be very fantastic to believe, very, very difficult thing to believe. So, but then we see that we are producing some capacity of water through our body, like through perspiration. So now, if Lord perspires, He is the greatest of great. So, what is the great difficulty in accepting that He can create oceans by His perspiration? So that is possible. And then here the perspiration that He produces, so that water is called as Garbhodaka. Garbhodaka. Udaka means water, and Garbhodaka means like that which has come from the Lord, from His or from where the whole universal creation actually starts. So that kind of an ocean is called Garbhodaka. And the Vishnu who takes his residence or who lies down on this particular ocean is called Garbha Udaka Shai. Shai means like to take the resting position. So like this is the name of the Lord also. So then from his navel, the stem of the lotus flower sprouted, and on the lotus petals, the birth of Brahma, the master engineer of the universal plan, took place. So this is also very nice. If you see, like the creation of the Lord, when you see it appears to be very beautiful. No, it doesn't. It appears to be like very artistic. So when we create something like it produces some, what is it? Like when we create our cars and vehicles and things like that, the engine doesn't look that great. So when we open up and it is all black and things like that, and then it produces a lot of smoke, and it also creates. It is not very like it has to be dressed up with so much of plastic body and things like that to look very nice actually. So the inside of it is not like that great. So, but then when the Lord creates, He creates the whole material creation. He creates it, through a lotus flower. The lotus flower is a beautiful thing. And how many of you have dissected the lotus flower? But every aspect of it is like very beautiful. So like the stem is also beautiful, and then the what do you call it, center one? Pericot. That one, and everything is like very beautifully arranged. And so in the creation, in the bigger creation, what is that pericot? So yellowish. Now you see that very same, this one, Meru mountain is small in the bottom and big in the top, and then it is fully yellow, right? So it will be fully golden. So it's exactly like a lotus flower. So the Meru is the pericot of the whole. This one, the central lotus, this lotus in the top. So, but then there is many lotuses that are there. So the lotus stem, you will get so many different this ones that actually come up. So even the Jambudvipa is also arranged in some kind of a lotus form, and then the pericot is the Meru is there. And then the Brahma, the chief engineer of this universe, he actually takes birth on the top of the original lotus, which is in the Satyaloka or Brahmaloka. And then the Lord himself took charge of the maintenance. Brahma became the engineer, but he's in charge of the creation, and the Lord himself took charge of the maintenance of the universe. So here, the Lord, to maintain the universe, he actually takes another Purusha incarnation. So that is the Shiradaksha Vishnu. Right? And Brahma was generated from the Rajaguna of the Prakriti or mode of passion in the nature, and Vishnu became the Lord of mode of goodness. Vishnu being transcendental to all modes is always aloof from materialistic affection. This has already been explained. From Brahma, then there is Rudra, Shiva, who is in charge of mode of ignorance or darkness. He is also created. He destroys the whole creation by the will of the Lord. Therefore, all three, namely Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, are incarnations of Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So now we see that there are different kinds of incarnations that are there. One is Swamsha incarnation, so that is Vishnu himself, and others are the Vibhinnamsa, like the living entities like us. So they can be empowered by some capacity of the Lord. They are called as empowered incarnation or Satyavesha incarnation. Or here, they are called as Guna Avatar. So one kind of the empowerment is the Guna Avatar. So they are in charge of particular modes of material nature within the universe. Right? So in this way, like the Guna Avatars are there. So Brahma himself is put in charge of the Rajaguna, and like Lord Vishnu personally takes care of the maintenance of the universe. And then Lord Shiva, he actually Rudra, he comes from Brahma. So we all know that past time that when Brahma, after creation of the universe, so first and foremost, who he created first creation? 4 Kumaras. And Brahma's task is like you create the universe, you create the places for existence of all the people, and after that you have to fill the places. So, but then 4 Kumaras told like, no, we want to aim at liberation, we don't want to get married. And Brahma is like in tension, like, I want creation. So first step only is roadblock. So then further he created. So further whom he created? No. Further is like this one. So when they 4 Kumaras, like they told that we will not enter into creation of population. So then Brahma became angry. No, it is my order. No, you are my children. It is my order. You have to follow. So how can you not follow the order of the father? Right. So it is not very good, no, to disobey the order of one's superiors. So it is not a proper etiquette, and one would regress in his position, both spiritual position and material position. So one would regress, if he doesn't like follow the instructions of a superior. And father is a very important superior. So it is only mentioned that only for purpose of attaining the lotus feet of the Lord, one can disregard the words of the father. No. So like Prahlad Maharaj, he wanted, like he would follow everything that Hiranyakashipu was telling. So but then he would disobey the father only when he tells you should not worship Vishnu. So like Prahlad could have told, no, he's a demoniac father, why will I follow anything at all from him? He could have told, no, why should I follow a demoniac father? So why he was following some instructions of the father? Huh? Uh-huh. So to what level we can actually accept and reject? It is mentioned if we get an order from a superior and if it is in line with the Shastras and Guru Parampara, so you don't have the authority to neglect it. No. Only if it is against the instructions of the Supreme Lord or only if it is against the scriptures or the conclusions of Guru Parampara, so then you have the this one right to say I will not follow. Otherwise you cannot say that I will not follow. So if the father is telling something, so like Hiranyakashipu was teaching Prahlad so many things or giving day-to-day instructions and things like that, Prahlad would very nicely follow all of them. So he would not transgress any of them. So, but when it comes to the point of like you should not worship Vishnu, so then only like he would reject that instruction. So otherwise he would follow, he would follow whatever instruction is told by the Lord. So in this way, like we see that like the four Kumaras, they rejected the instructions of Brahma, and Brahma became angry. So out of anger of Brahma, so like who was created? Rudra was created. And Rudra was created and Rudra was expanding the population. And those population was destroying the creation. And Brahma was in so much tension. The first set of people, like, I created, they didn't expand the creation. And second set of people, like, I created, they started destroying the creation. So now it is time for expansion and these people are like doing destruction. So he was in so much of tension. And then he told, like, so like he called Rudra and he told that, so you be peaceful and like no more creation. I beg you, please stop your creation. Please go to like some nice sacred place. I'll give you a place and do tapasya. Whenever restriction is needed, that time I'll call you. You can nicely destroy everything. So till the time be situated in tapasya, right? So like this also shows that when the creation is in the beginning of the creation itself, there is sufficient arrangement for destruction is also made. So whenever something is created, so the rebinding, this one was also like automatic. It is created right from the beginning. It is there actually. So Lord Shiva is created like this, and then after that, he destroys the whole creation. So whenever the time on the will of the Lord, and therefore all three, namely Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, are incarnations of Vishnu. So Brahmaji and this one Vishnu here in discussion is Shiva Vishnu. So he's an incarnation of Vishnu. And then Lord Shiva. So all of them are coming from Vishnu. So though it appears to be Brahma gives birth to Rudra, still it is counted as the incarnation of Vishnu. So from Brahma, the other demigods like Daksha, Marichi, Manu, and many others become incarnated to generate living entities within the universe. These are all also considered to be Satyavash incarnation of the Lord. So some are like very powerful and some are like little less powerful. But all of them are having tremendous capacity. We can imagine like their capacity. So they can produce lakhs and crores of children. You can imagine like the Shakti that they were having actually. So Daksha was like creating in millions actually. So Daksha, Marichi, Manu, and all these people. So they were all like very highly exalted souls, and they were they were invested with the creation potency of the Lord. So they are created for creation. So they would exhibit very, very great powers in terms of creation. And this Garbhodaksha Vishnu is glorified in the Vedas in the hymns of Garbhasmriti, which begins with a description of the Lord as having thousands of heads, etc. Sahasra, Shirsha, Purusha, and things like that. So that is, and then the Garbhodaksha Vishnu is the Lord of universe, and although he appears to be lying within the universe, he is always transcendental. So this is one important thing to understand, that even though the Lord may be amidst the material things, still he is not affected by the material things. So that's a very important thing. So now when we are in contact with material things, so why we are asked to avoid certain things and accept certain things in Krishna consciousness. So because if we come in contact with the devotee association, so then we can be Krishna conscious. So then when we go in contact with our material friends, so then we cannot be Krishna conscious, right? So we are what we associate with, right? So in that way, like we are dependent on our association. But the Supreme Lord is not like that. The Supreme Lord is, even though he is amidst the material things, still he is not affected by the material things, right? So he is transcendental. Even to that extent, great devotees like Srila Prabhupada, he went to the Western countries, and we cannot imagine the kind of condition that Srila Prabhupada was there. So, like it was the heights of hippie movement, which was happening in America at that point in time, and people actually believed in freedom. So freedom means like they wanted freedom from like anybody above age of 30. So they considered to be like old people, like we should not listen to them, and old school, old kind of thought process, and they wanted freedom from the government, and they wanted freedom from even including their dress, sometimes. So they used to live naked also. So that kind of place, Srila Prabhupada actually went, and he converted them into pure Vaishnavas, following the culture and things like that. So it is such an amazing thing, like even that great personalities who have taken complete shelter of the Supreme Lord, even they, sometimes in the midst of so much provoking situation, so they can remain transcendental and they can reach the Krishna consciousness. So then, what to speak about the Lord Himself? He's not at all affected. So now, like we try to expose ourselves to good thoughts and good activities and things like that. So we don't have, if we are asked to do the job of Paramatma, to sit in everybody's heart and to know everybody what they are thinking and what they are doing. We will go crazy. So like that's all our Krishna consciousness is gone for us, forever. So 1 minute also, if we do the job of Paramatma, we are gone. Right? So like, but then the Lord can witness everything. He is called as Anumanta and Upadrishta. He is permitter of all the activities, and he is Upadrishta. So he is the witness of all the activities that are happening. And even after witnessing everything, still he is not affected by material things, right? So that is the position of the Supreme Lord. And this was also already been explained. The Vishnu, who is the plenary portion of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, is the super soul of the universe. And he is known as the maintainer of the universe, or Shirodaksha Vishnu. So Shirodaksha Vishnu is the one who takes the maintenance activity. He is present as super soul of every single living entity in every single atom, and then he maintains the status quo of the universe. So the three features of the original Purusha are thus understood, and the three features are the Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra, and all the incarnations within the universe are emanations from Shirodaksha Vishnu. So, like further, because previously it is mentioned that all the incarnations actually come through Garbhodaksha Vishnu. And now it is mentioned all the incarnations within the universe, they come through Shirodaksha Vishnu. So this is the channel through which they actually come into this world. Right? So in different millennia, there are different incarnations, and they are innumerable. Although some of them are very prominent, such as Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Rama, Nrsimha, Vamana, and many others. So most of them are part of Dashavatara. So, but then it is mentioned there is waves in the ocean, so that much of incarnations of the Lord is there. So like there is innumerable incarnations of the Lord is there. So any like what is it? Any average person in this world or in India, if you ask, like how many incarnations of the Lord is there? No, they will tell clearly 10 incarnations of the Lord. So, but there is innumerable incarnations of the Lord is there, you know. And so of them, some are prominent, you know, who are prominently known. You know. And these incarnations are called Leela avatars. You know. Matsya avatar, Kurma avatar, Varaha. So all of them, they actually came, they performed some pastimes, you know, in relation to their devotees. Leela, everything, every actions of the Lord is Leela. So, but then the Lord's activities with this material nature, you know, Purusha avatars, no, the Lord Mahavishnu and Garbhadaksha Vishnu, no, they are creating this universe. So that is also Leela, right? So why they cannot be called as Leela avatar? So because there is no interaction with devotees are there, you know. So this is only interaction with the material nature. So this is just managerial affair that is happening. So that is why they are called as Purusha avatar. Now here Leela avatar means, so Matsya avatar with whom he had interaction? Huh? King? King Satyavrata, right? King Satyavrata. Okay. And then Kurmadev? Churning of ocean. So he actively took part in some Leela, no? This one. And then Varaha? Bhumi Devi. No, Bhumi Devi. No. He came to rescue Bhumi Devi. And Lord Ramachandra? Huh? For whom Lord Ramachandra came? Huh? Who went and petitioned? All the Devatas, in fact, it is a very nice subject. So, all the Devatas, they went and prayed to the Supreme Lord. So, they took shelter of the Supreme Lord. And so, it is the description is mentioned in Ramayana that when all the Devatas went and they prayed to the Lord and they surrendered unto the Lord and they prayed to the Lord. So, and they prayed for protection from Ravana. No? So, it is mentioned. There are so many different reasons are there for Lord Rama's appearance, and this is one of the reasons. So, so the Lord actually appeared, and appeared to the Devatas, and he was so happy, he was so happy, to award the benediction, what the Devatas were actually praying for. So sometimes devotees have this idea that we should not ask anything from the Lord. No, it is not like that. So we should ask pure devotees. They ask for pure devotional service, and like Devatas, they were asking for protection from Ravana and things like that. So the Lord is very, very happy to reciprocate. He is the object of surrender. We are the ones who are surrendering unto the Lord, and Lord is the object of surrender. So the Lord is so happy to actually accept the prayers and to award the benedictions which the devotee is actually asking for. So in this way, like the Lord is very happy to actually reciprocate, and Lord had many interactions with many devotees. And Narsimha is Prahlad and Vamana. Again, Devatas, and Bali Maharaj also. So so these are all Leela avatars of the Lord. So they came and they performed some pastimes. So these incarnations are called Leela incarnations. Then there are qualitative incarnations such as Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Qualitative means the word quality or guna, when it comes immediately, it represents to Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Sattva guna, Raja guna, and Tama guna. So the qualitative incarnations means they're in charge of these three qualities in this world, and who take charge of different modes of material nature. Lord Vishnu is non-different from the personality of Godhead, and Lord Shiva in the managerial position is the marginal position between personality of Godhead and the living entities or jivas. So Brahma is always a jiva tattva. The highest pious living being or the greatest devotee of the Lord is empowered with the potency of the Lord for creation, and he is called Brahma. So Brahma is the greatest devotee within the universe. He is the most elevated person, highly elevated person within the universe, and he is given the charge of the creation, and he is empowered with the potency of creation. And then his power is like the power of sun reflected on a valuable stone or jewel. So now you see, how many of you have did this experiment, paper and magnifying glass, putting on the sun, and the paper gets burned, right? So magnifying glass, does it have that capacity? No. So from where the capacity has come? It's come from the sun. So magnifying glasses are Shakya's avatar of the sun. So to understand this concept here. So like it borrows the power, and with that borrowed power, it can actually do like very powerful activities. So like that. So Brahma is a Shakyavesh. It's a he actually empowered incarnation. He gets the potency from the Lord, the potency of creation, and then when he creates, amazing things actually gets created. So this also goes to say that if we are endeavoring in our life to create something or do something, and again it is failing, if it is a material thing, we should understand that we have not been invested with that capacity. So we should not unnecessarily try to break our head more and more into that particular question, right? And for spiritual things, we can endeavor because we are part and parcel of the Lord. We are meant to be engaged in the service of the Lord. So to achieve that end, how much of our endeavor we put, it is worth. But material things, material things is like what is destined to me, based on whatever pious or impious activities I have performed in the past. So based on that, some specific thing we are empowered to do certain things. So only if we endeavor to that much, we will be satisfied. If we endeavor too much, so we will not be satisfied because it is not in our stock. It is not. We are not destined to enjoy that particular thing, right? So in that way, we should not do over endeavor in the material activities. So whatever is our capacity, if we are supposed to become millionaire, and you do a little bit of endeavor, you will become. If you're supposed to be a small timer, how much ever endeavor you put, you will be like that only. So in that way, so the Vedic system is very, very nice. In the Vedic system, all materialistic people used to know this science very nicely. If they want to be a millionaire, what they would do, they would start performing pious activities. They would start performing they will maintain cleanliness. They will performing all the dharmic activities, charity, austerity, and penances, and all those things. They will start doing with the aim: in the next life, I will become millionaire. So that is the way the Vedic system actually educates. Just like if a child wants to become a rich man, so what he will do? He will have to go to school. He will have to study things, and then after that, he may become an entrepreneur, or he may get a job or something like that. So in this way, this process is being followed, and here it is very nicely mentioned, like the sun, the power of sun reflected on a valuable stone or a jewel. So nowadays we have the lights, tube lights and electric lights and things like that. So in the Vedic system, people were having rich people, palaces and things like that. So they would have so much nice jewels, that are kept in all the places, actually embedded into all the pillars and walls and things like that. So if you just light one lamp, everything will become illuminated. So it will be like 1,000 watts, so everything will become illuminated. And if natural sun comes, naturally everything will be illuminated. And if you put curtain, everything will become dark. Right? So that's the system that they had, and they didn't need to pay any electricity bill. Right? Free way, they were having nice system and natural. And this system was very much conducive for their health. It was not harming their health, and it was quite natural also. Right? And it is how many of your houses, maybe diamonds and rubies and all these things are put in. We cannot even imagine. So that is the Vedic system that I remember one in Tamil literature we used to read in our school. There is glory of a kingdom has been actually mentioned. So the king's pious, how pious the king is, that has been glorified. And in the glorification, it is mentioned that a common village woman, who's she has spread the grains and she is actually taking care of, whether some the birds are coming or taking off the grains and things like that. And to show off the birds, she will remove a golden ornament and she will throw. And so this shows this from here the glorification of the king actually starts. You see how pious the king is. The common citizens of in the kingdom, they have so much of wealth, to distract the birds, they can throw gold. That is how much wealth they have. So, and you can imagine the pious piety of the king. No? So like in that way, like it is mentioned. So the pious results, like pious activities, actually brings so much of wealth. These days, we have the idea that if we work hard, more and more, so we will become wealthy. So actual materialists, the Vedic materialists, so their idea is completely different. So they would perform more and more pious activities, to ensure that they are rich and things like that. So when there is okay, so now when there is no suitable living entity who can take charge of the post of Brahma, then Lord himself becomes Brahma and takes charge of that post. Lord Shiva is not an ordinary living being. So now, after Brahma's description, Lord Shiva's description actually starts. He's not an ordinary living entity. No, he's a plenary portion of the Lord. So plenary portion means he's as good as Vishnu. No, like within as a capacity, like he has as much capacity as Lord Vishnu himself. He is a complete expansion of Lord Vishnu himself. So if you see the original form of Lord Shiva, who's called as Sadashiva, so his form will be like Vishnu Murti, like Shankar Chakra, Gada and things like that. So you will find that it is like a Vishnu Murti. So, but because he is in direct touch with the material nature, so he is not in the exact same transcendental position as Lord Vishnu. So the difference is like that of between milk and the curd. Kshiram Yatadati Vikara Vishesha Yoga. So now, like Kshiram, Kshiram means milk and Dadi means curd. And how do you make curd? All devotees know here, like, how do you make curd? Sometimes, like, city devotees may not know because you get curd from, from the Nandini booth. So, like, and sometimes, like, you get the milk, Nandini milk, and then you try to add the culture, it doesn't become curd. So because if it becomes curd, then like curd business will get stopped. So like generally it is mentioned that if you get milk from the milkman, then only it becomes curd. Is it true? Nandini milk also becomes curd. Okay. So, anyways, like now then Vikara. So it because of some transformation. Now the milk out of transformation it actually becomes curd, and Vishesha Yoga by some kind of a process when we actually follow, so then it becomes curd. So what we have to do to make it curd? If you don't have curd, what will you do? Huh? Turmeric. Okay, nice. New system. Tamarind. Okay, tamarind. Okay, little bit of tamarind. Okay. Then what else culture is there? Silver ring. You heard. Okay. Sometimes people put mirchi also. Like this one also they put. So in that way, like you add the culture and then it becomes curd. So in the same way here also, Lord Vishnu, he transforms into Lord Shiva, just to come in contact with the material nature and to have the direct, hands-on management with the material nature, right? So for that purpose, Lord Shiva actually comes into the picture. And the next incarnations are Manus. Like there are many different Manus. Like Prabhupada is giving a big list. Within 1 day, within 1 day's duration of life of Brahma, which is calculated as what is 1 day's duration of Brahma? So like 4,32,000 years is Kali Yuga. How much is the previous Yuga, like Dwapara Yuga? Into 2. How much is this one, Dwapara? 3 times. And this one? Satyayuga 4 times. So in total,
10 times.
10 times of Kali Yuga is like whole 4 yugas. So that is 4,30,000 means like it is 43 lakhs. And then such 1,000 cycles make 1 day of Brahma and equivalent is 1 night of Brahma as well. And in 1 day of Brahma there is 14 Manus that are there. 14 Manus, like 1,000 divided by 14 is approximately 71. So 71 cycles come under one regime of one Manu. So like that is one mantra. So then we see that there are 420 Manus in 1 month of Brahma. So that is 14 into 30. So that becomes 420, and then 5,040 Manus in 1 year of Brahma, so into 12, and then Brahma lives for 100 years, so total like 5,04,000 Manus are there. So and then finally we see that all of this is happening within one breathing period of Mahavishnu. So so that is the extent of period of Brahma's life, and extent of period of Mahavishnu's breathing also. So all of them are created and annihilated within one breathing period of Mahavishnu. Right? So the Manus who are prominent within the universe are known as Yajna as Swayambhuva Manu, and Vibhu as Swarochisha Manu, and Satyasena as Uttama Manu, and Hari as Tamasa Manu, and Vaikuntha as Raivata Manu, and Ajita as Chakshisha Manu, and Vamana as Vaivasavata Manu, and the present age is the Vaivasavata Manu's age, and Sarvabhauma as Savarni Manu, and Rishabha as Daksha Savarni Manu, and Vishwakshena as Brahma Savarni Manu, and Dharma Setu as Dharma Savarni Manu, and Sudama as Rudra Savarni Manu, and Yogeshwara as Deva Savarni Manu, and Brihat Banu as Indra Savarni Manu. So there is the 14 list of 14 is given. So these positions are fixed, but then the personalities occupy different personalities actually occupy these positions. Right? So these are the names of one set of 14 Manus covering a huge 430 crore solar years as described above. So this is like 1 day of Brahma. So then there are Yuga avatars or the incarnations of millennia. So Yuga avatars, what do they do? Yuga avatars? So they come to teach the Yuga Dharma. So that is what they do. And then, so these Manus, they are also called as incarnations. They are also empowered incarnations. What kind of empowerment they get? Brahma gets the empowerment of creation. So what does these Manus get? What kind of empowerment they get? Huh? Yeah, they are like very amazing administrators. So they like, what is the famous book in relation to Manu? Manu Samhita, right? Manu Samhita. So this is like the codes, rules and regulations, how the universe has to be maintained and managed. So they are like great rulers. So they have the ruling capacity and also the ruling capacity of the Lord. And so the Yuga avatars, they are the incarnation of the millennia. The Yugas are known as Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. The incarnations of each Yuga are of different color. So the colors are white, red, black, and yellow. No? So white, in which Yuga? White incarnation? Satya Yuga. And in which Yuga? Red incarnation? Treta Yuga. No? And then black, Dwapara Yuga, and yellow is Kali Yuga. So this is different incarnations. In the Dwapara Yuga, Lord Krishna is in black color appeared, and in the Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya in yellow color appeared. So all the incarnations of the Lord are mentioned in the revealed scriptures. There is no scope for an impostor to become an incarnation. For an incarnation must be mentioned in the Shastra. An incarnation does not declare himself to be an incarnation of the Lord. But great sages agree by the symptoms mentioned in the revealed scriptures. The features of the incarnation and the particular type of mission which he has to execute are mentioned in the revealed scriptures. So it is not that Lord suddenly comes and then he finds out what he's supposed to do in this world. So like Lord, it is defined. In this time, this kind of problem will come and Lord will come and he will solve the problem. It's all scheduled. Problems are also scheduled and incarnations are also scheduled. Solutions are scheduled. Everything is scheduled. So no scope for any extra application to become God. So so that way it is all predetermined. Apart from the direct incarnations, there are innumerable empowered incarnations. They are also mentioned in the revealed scriptures, such as such incarnations are directly as well as indirectly empowered. When they are directly empowered, they are called incarnations, but when they are indirectly empowered, they are called vibhutis. Directly empowered incarnations are Kumaras, Narada, Prithu, Shesha, Ananta, etc. And as far as vibhutis are concerned, they are very explicitly described in Bhagavad Gita in the Vibhuti Yoga chapter. Which chapter Vibhuti Yoga? Huh? 10th chapter, no? 10th chapter is Vibhuti Yoga. And that famous shloka is there, no? Yadya Vibhuti Matsakam, Srimad Pujitam Eva. No, like, what is the next line? Huh? Mama Tejamsa Sambhava is the last line. Third line? Yadya Vibhuti Matsakam, Srimad Pujitam Eva. Tatat Eva Vigachanti or something like that. So I forget the third line. So and Mama Tejamsa Sambhava. So now we see there are vibhuti, the Lord empowers the living entities. Some are directly empowered, incarnations. So directly empowered incarnations are the personalities like, here it is given Kumara, Narada, Prithu, Sesha, Ananta. So no, these are all like directly empowered incarnations. No, they are empowered for getting some job done for the Lord. So Narada, Kumara, so they are directly they are doing the service of the Lord directly. So, but the vibhutis, if you see any vibhutis you remember from Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, around shloka 20-21 onwards, Krishna starts this one after Chatur Shloki Bhagavad Gita, he starts describing the vibhuti. Among all warriors, I'm Arjuna, he mentions. No, like specifically the vibhuti is mentioned in the 10th chapter. There in 11th also he mentions, in other places also he mentions. So, but specifically here, anybody can just look upon 10-21 onwards, you can see. Now he mentions many different vibhutis. You see this. So he mentions that wherever you find anything very wonderful. So first of all, he starts speaking that I cannot tell all my vibhutis. It is not possible to tell only because everything is everything is existing because of my empowerment. If anybody is having some intelligence because of the grace of the Lord, if anybody is little dull-headed because of the grace of the Lord, so if anybody is able to do something very powerfully because of the grace of the Lord, all of this are empowerment of the Lord only. Lord's vibhuti. So, but Lord says, I will tell only the prominent ones. Here he mentions amongst demigods, Indra, Adityas, amongst Adityas and Vishnu. Which Vishnu? Who's among Adityas?
Surya Narayana.
No. Amongst Adityas is Vamanadev. When he comes as Aditi's son, right? So Vamanadev is Vishnu. So like that. Upendra. Then? Of lights and sun. No, like that. Kuvera. Among sages? Bhrigu. Like that. So we see that this is all vibhutis of the Lord. So they may not be engaged directly in the service of the Lord, but they are able to show some extraordinary power because of the empowerment of the Lord. Right? So we also should understand that if I have some capacity, which I'm able to, I'm blessed with some capacity. We should understand it is a blessed capacity. Anytime it can be taken off. When punya gets over, then this capacity can be taken off, right? So we should always be grateful to the Lord for enabling us to do certain things, and we should not unnecessarily request the Lord that like you give me this capacity, that capacity, and things like that. So whatever capacity the Lord gives, we will try to render service with that capacity, and things like that. And if we have got any instructions from the spiritual master, so like to do some certain service, like if we want certain capacity to execute that service, that may be prayed to the Lord, so like so that I can execute the service given to me, right? And then so you see, as far as this is concerned, like it is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita Vibhuti Yoga chapter, and for all these different types of incarnations, the fountainhead is Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So with this, we come to the end of the purport. So any questions, comments, we can yes. So that's what we were discussing. No, like they are directly empowered. These are all indirectly empowered. So both are empowered. So first are all Satyavesha. So they are fulfilling some purpose of the Lord. Just like when Lord comes and incarnates, he has certain purposes to fulfill. In the same way, like all these personalities also have some defined purposes to fulfill. So, but other than that, so many other people, like all of us are also empowered with certain capacities. These are all called vibhutis. These are all also like empowerment by the Lord, but not for doing Lord's work, but for doing our own work. So, like that.
Prabhuji, they said that Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, like Karanodakshaya Vishnu, he creates the universe, and then Garbhodakshaya Vishnu enters. Then what does Brahma exactly create? And another question is, sometimes it is told that we are products of material nature. Material nature gives us this body. So what is material nature doing? What is Brahma doing?
See, like Garbhodakshaya Vishnu's, each person's role, like we know that Mahavishnu, he creates universes, and then Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, he actually comes inside, and then it is called like primary creation and secondary creation is there, Sarga and Visarga. So Sarga means like till the point of creation of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So like that is, he creates Brahma and he creates all the ingredients and things like that. Till that point is called as Sarga. And then Visarga is Brahma's creation. So that is like secondary creation. So secondary creation is with those elements. So if you see the Bhagavatam actually takes us through. So all the elements are there, Brahma is there, and his mandate is also there to create. But he's clueless, like nothing is happening. So then like the Lord enters into each and every atom as Shirodakshaya Vishnu, he enters, and then he creates that ability to combine the material things and forming different shapes and products and things like that. So in that way, the secondary creation actually starts. So Brahma is the engineer, like he is supposed to create the residing places, the 14 planetary systems. He is supposed to create, and he's supposed to create the sages and all the different classes of living entities and fill them with the result. So this is Brahma's creation. So like the primary creation is only the basic creation of basic ingredients and creation of the universe and things like that. So the secondary creation comes here. And then now we see whose children we are. Sometimes we are called as we are products of material nature, and sometimes we are called as we are what is it, son of Vishnu. In which Vishnu, like Shirodakshaya Vishnu or Garbhodakshaya Vishnu or Mahavishnu and things like that. So we see very nicely it is explained here that in the shloka itself it is explained. This form, the second manifestation of the Purusha, is a source of indestructible seed of multifarious incarnations within the universe. So he is the seed of all the different incarnations. From the particles and portions of this form, like from portion of this Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, so which is further expansion, that is Shirodakshaya Vishnu. From there comes the further portions. So that portions are like different living entities, like demigods and others who are created. So now we see that like Arjuna is sometimes called as Kaunteya, means son of Kunti. Sometimes he is called as Partha. No, that is also son of Kunti only. And then Pandava. So then he is son of Pandu. So these two we can understand. Sometimes he is called as Dhananjaya. Okay, like based on the family lineage, what other names are there? Bharata. Bharata means descendant of Bharata. Descendant of Bharata. It actually the Sanskrit usage here is almost like son of Bharata. So but it means the descendant of Bharata. And then any other names? Kuru also is, his Kaurava is also a name that is used for the Pandavas also, because all of them come from the Kuru, descendants of Kuru, right? So in that way, like we see that, we also have, we come from, this body has come from material nature, and the soul has come from, like Vishnu. So and Vishnu is the father, and like we can say that Brahma is also father. So because he is also involved in some level of creation in between, right? So anywhere we belong to any vamsha. So all of them can be called as the source of our existence actually. No, that way.
Actually, the last question. Like, all the incarnations that are mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, so it is the incarnation of one day of Brahma, are different Divyas?
Difference also is there. No, especially in the Varaha this one. So one is of Chakshusha mantra and another is of the like Swayambhuva mantra is also there. So like two things that are mixed when the purports you will find in some time it will come.
That is all, now say for example, this 10 Dasavatars which are prominent which everyone speak. So that is in this yuga, in this thing.
Not sure. Especially the Varaha that is discussed. So both of them are of different mantras. The two Varahas of both of them are different mantras.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Oh, one question. So the Yuga Avatars, we see that Lord descends to prescribe the dharma for that. So in Dwapar Yuga, it's deity worship is prescribed. But when Lord Krishna descends, right, it's mostly on his leelas, right? Like, how
No,
is it?
like he as Dwarkadish, no, like he was worshipped, no, like very nicely and things like that. So, ideally speaking, Yuga Dal is supposed to come in the beginning of the Yuga. He came in the last. So, it is because of this Swayam Bhagavan Krishna when he comes, there's so much of adjustments that actually happens with him. So, but that aside, like, it is, if you read the 11th canto, the beginning chapters, so there's description of the Yuga avatars. There is Maharaj Shini and Navayogendras, there is discussion that actually happens. And there it is a very specific question it is asked. Now, in which all yugas, what is the Yuga Dharma and who is the Yuga avatar who comes to teach and what is the process of the Yuga Dharma. So it is very elaborately it is explained. So there you will find like how the in Dwapar Yuga like deity worship is established.
11th camp.
11th canto.
Hare Krishna. My question is Saharsra Shirsha Purusha, and Krishna and Rama, those are incarnations, the full Leela. So, when, why, Brahma, when Ravana died, he was able to see the Purusha in Rama. Similarly, in Krishna as well, before Brahma died, before Vishnu died, that time they were able to see the Purusha.
He saw that the 400 form of this one, Narayana. Bhishma saw 400 form.
It says that Namaskarantai Sahasramurti Sahasramata Shishresh Bhavde. So it's 1,000.
No, that is not what he's seeing. That is, he's glorifying. So, but what he's seeing is like he clearly establishes in another shloka where he's with four hands and things like that. So, his color and this one and position and things like that. So that is there. So it is again a little big subject, but in essence, I would say that the Lord is the same, but he would appear in a suitable form, to which the devotee is qualified to see. So, like he may be in one particular form, but he may appear differently for different people. So, like generally, I explain this shloka, which Acharyas also explained as standard shloka, in terms of Krishna entering into the wrestling arena of Kamsa. So, like that time, that Mallanam, Ashner, Pranam, Naravare, Srinam, Swam, so like there, like all the wrestlers, they see him as a very powerful person, and the parents of Krishna see him as a small child, and then different people have different visions, and there also it is mentioned Virat Avidusha. So like the less advanced spiritualists, they actually see him as the Virata Rupa, and then for Tattvam Param Yogi, like for people who are yogis who are meditating on Paramatma. So Krishna was 200, but for them he was appearing as 400. So like based on what is their inclination and what is their sadhana, and based on that the Lord reciprocates by showing himself in a different form that they can perceive.
Hare Krishna.
Right, sure. Rohit, you just mentioned that Lord filled the universe with his respiration. So where this water is, because we see that Earth is three-fourths of water, and apart from that, there is ether in the Brahmanda. So is this breathtaking universe, which is
No.
this?
So this is so what we call as Earth is on top of the Jambudvipa, and so like apart from Jambudvipa, there is more tract of land is also there in the earthly planet system, and then below that we have Patala and Patal, Vital, Palakal and things like that, and even below that is where this Garbhodaka ocean is there. So it is not something that we can perceive or access.
Right. And the Praja river, which is said to be the separation between material world and
That is different.
that is different.
That is causal ocean. That is causal ocean on which Mahavishnu actually takes this residence.
Clear.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam. Thank you for the very technical and philosophical class. Has raised a lot of questions, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, Paramatma is only one. So, even in different universes, there's only one Paramatma.
There is only one Vishnu. There is no two Vishnus. Right?
So,
So if you see, like all three of them are called as Paramatma only. All of them, all three of them, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Mahavishnu, and Shivadaksha Vishnu, all of them are functioning as Paramatma. So, like Mahavishnu is functioning as Paramatma at level of entire material creation, and then at the level of universe, Garbhodaksha Vishnu is functioning as Paramatma. At the level of with internal creation, Shivadaksha Vishnu is functioning as Paramatma.
So, even though Garbhodaksha Vishnu is there in every material universe, all the Garbhodaksha Vishnus, they are also one.
So obviously, like one Vishnu only exists. So they are. There is no two different personalities that exist, but still, as an expansion, like he is present there personally. So, but then there is no two different entities, that exist as
So only Brahma, the level of Brahma, because he's a
living entity,
there are
different.
Brahmas. Prabhuji, there's also in this purport it's mentioned that Lord Shiva is the plenary portion of the Lord. And we know that the Lord, even when he comes in touch with material nature, he remains uncontaminated. So plenary portion is what has all the potencies of the Lord, and yet it's mentioned in the purport that because Lord Shiva is in direct touch with the material nature, hence he is not in the same transcendental position. So I do not understand this concept.
See, Vishnu has multiple ways of expansion. One is his personal expansion, which is as good as the Supreme Lord Vishnu, right? So there is another kind of an expansion, which is an intermediate expansion, which is he's an Ishvara, he's not a Jiva, he's not a dependent entity, he's the master of the creation. And but then, like he also has direct connection with the material nature, and sometimes he can be disturbed by the material nature. Sometimes, not always. So, but more like 99.99% of the time, he is the master of the material nature. But sometimes the material nature can affect. That is this one. So this is a different category. One is like one category Vishnu is not affected at all. At any cost, he will never get affected. Another category is fully powerful, but sometimes he can be affected. Another category is like us. So we are separated from the Lord, and we are more prone to get affected. Until unless we take shelter of the Lord, so we cannot remain pure in terms of getting affected from material nature.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, last question. So, can you please explain